All right, all right. I appreciate everybody. So, for this evening, just to let everybody know, this will be, at least for me, a camless night because of my location. I appreciate everybody. That is the main reason why I am running late. Please forgive me. So, we're going to go ahead and get into this evening live. I only have one topic for the night because, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of relax and enjoy my evening like we all should, right? We all work hard, and we all definitely deserve our time of just ease and relax and peace and balance, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. Let me do this right here. Gonna go ahead and take this down, and we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Now, what I'm gonna do first is this. I am going to pull up. Okay, so history wise, let me see something. Hold on. There we go. Hold on. Yep, here we go. All right, so this is what I wanted to pull up. So We are definitely, let me go ahead and get my, hold on, wait a minute. Sorry, y'all. Let me page Nancy real quick. Nancy, hey, how's it going? Oh, you're on your way. If you don't mind, real quick, could you go ahead and hit the ensemble for me? Thank you, Nancy. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of your evening. Okay, you guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into this. The time right now is 9:40 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. I thank you all for being patient. I thank you all for watching. So this evening, yes, as the thumbnail says, right, and as a description, we're going to be talking about Brother Tripp Fonte. Now, you know something? I will say he's one of those brothers that he's low key, but he stands out, right? He's low key, but he stands out. And when I have caught segments of this show that he's speaking about on this interview, I will say he is somebody that out of everybody on the stage, I would say primarily shout out to Trill, man. Shout out to Crew Season. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to the Crew Season, subscribe to Trill. Definitely a very, very solid brother. I definitely love the content he puts out. So yeah, but Brother Tripp, right? Brother Tripp, he is somebody that definitely is stuck out to me out of everybody there. Like for some reason, right? So what we're going to do is I'm just going to play one quick clip highlight, I guess. I just, pulled up highlights. And so I'm going to pull this one clip up. And then we're going to go ahead and get into the video. And we're going to have a wonderful evening. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's go ahead and get to it.
To get you. And then when you finally get them, why do men work so hard to get you? And then when you finally get them a chance, they won't put in the work to keep you.
Oh, sometimes it don't be there when we get there. Damn. Yeah, no, I'm tired of not leaving Yelp reviews, bro. Y'all need to stop going quietly on some cool. Like, I'm not saying this about every woman. I'm not saying this is a majority. I'm not saying none of that. Matter of fact, I'm not saying it's the woman at all. Perhaps I did everything that I did. I pursued you. And once we got into an intimate enough environment, we realized this is where we should stop. We don't belong anywhere closer to each other than what we've gotten so far. As a matter of fact, this is a perfect time for us to get off the boat without crashing. I think too often we men and women for that matter, we feel entitled to a positive result from dating somebody. We feel entitled to a positive result from doing the quote unquote right things. Right? If I'm a this, you can see it in dudes, right? I done put the bread up, I done planned the dates, I done did all that, and she still ain't this, that, and the third. It's like, fam, was you on that because this is who you are, or was you on that because you thought it would impress her? So
I can't even front. I just have to pause real quick for that one. Sometimes in life, a person cannot know who you are from a can of paint, but it's something that they might say at a particular time on a particular day that just might hit your heart as if they were your best friend and or knew you all your life. Dang.
I'm not saying nothing about you again. I'm just saying that like some dudes, we do all that pursuing. We get there. It be bland as hell.
All right. So that was the clip that I wanted to play. Just a quick highlight, just in case there are people that may tune in that's not hip to the brother that we're talking about and or the show. So apparently I didn't know this, this is all news to me. And like I said, I do the best that I can to, keep track of what's going on, what's the latest, this and that, right? So he went on ahead and left the show. So he did an interview, and I think it's on Hype, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go ahead and pull that up. Let's see what we got. We ain't even gonna waste no time. Let's get right on into this. I'm already running late, right? Y'all like Smitty, you already late. So let's go ahead and do it. Boom. Hold on 1 second. Let me just make sure it's out. Yeah, I already knew it. I knew it was gonna do that. Okay. And we hope not yet. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this. I had no clue that he actually left the show. So after that highlight that we just looked at, let's go ahead and see what he has to say. I took a look at a portion of it, and I would say it definitely is very interesting. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's go ahead and get to it.
Honor to serve in this community. I didn't know I could. That ain't me saying that. That's the people that pull me to the side in the club. That's the people that stop me when I'm in the gas station. You done had jobs where you can't stand your fucking boss, but you love the job.
You mentioned tonight's conversation.
Just before he got too far, I did want to very briefly mention I've had, I would say, a good 2 instances in my very own community where I was out and about, regular shopping, local center. And there were 2 separate occasions I did have somebody actually be like, Smitty's Corner, you know what I mean? It was one time it was this older woman, and there was another time it was a brother that came up to me. And I came front. That was very much so rewarding to know that I had no clue these people were listening and watching, and that's why I am very mindful. I know I may, you know what I'm saying, spoke my spliff or whatever. Hey, I'm in Maryland. It's legal 100%. But I do make sure as far as like conduct, how I speak to people and things of that nature. I love to joke. I love to go ahead and just, you know, kick it and make sure y'all know I'm not some stiff stick in the mud, right? You know, but I am very mindful of how I produce what I produce and how I conduct myself when out in these spaces is for a reason. Let's keep on going. Respect to the brother.
Conversation.
For sure.
Super successful podcast. That's how I got hip to you.
Hell yeah.
I was like, damn, what's this brother going viral over there? He's saying a lot of great things, good stuff. I'm seeing the men and the women fooling what he's saying. And you don't see that often. So I'm seeing this thing take place. We do the interview. And then like a couple months after that, I see an announcement, a post goes up. In this post, I find out that you're exiting this successful podcast, this podcast that not only like positions you, but like people probably thinking like, why would you leave? You went on to say, it is with heavy heart that I would have to announce my departure from tonight's conversation podcast. In your caption, that's how you started your interview, but in your caption it read, it's been an honor to serve and entertain in this vehicle. To anyone who thought enough of your cousin to tap in, I guess, thank you. See you in the next chapter. Keep up with me over at Tripp After Dark.
For sure.
It's with a heavy heart.
Very.
Was it really that tough to kind of make that?
And you know something? In life, there are comparisons that can be made. There are so many comparisons. You know, when I hear that, I think of many different circumstances in my life. Jobs I really did love, and I moved on to something else, maybe better position. Graduating, school, relationships that have started and ended, so on and so forth, friendships, you name it, neighbors who have moved and you were so cool and you got used to seeing them every day. Y'all go check the mail at the same time, whatever it may be. And so when he says with the heavy heart of the departure, I was speaking about, I believe either yesterday or the day before, how people and circumstances in life are like seasons. When fall comes around, we embrace the beauty of autumn. We don't cry about the leaves falling off the trees. Why? Because we know spring is right around the corner again. And I love the way that he put that. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 9:49 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. Let's keep going.
Decision.
And we went on a historical run, my nigga.
Mm.
Historical. But the industry will never acknowledge it. I know they won't. But most artists, and I don't care who offended by it, most niggas not doing 4,000 a show. Most of these niggas banding together to do their tours.
Mm.
Bro, wasn't no sponsors over at TC. And this just me looking at the whole situation for what it is, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like this me a regional poet who got respect from Illinois to Tennessee. A little work in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And
And I will say this. I recognize what he speaks of right now, as far as I do. I recognize it. Just in these YouTube streets, in this particular genre area, sector, if you want to say that I'm located in. I'm not with no crew, no clicked up, no nothing. Most of the time my lives are just like how it is right now, just me. And I always appreciate everybody who comes through and shows love. My point is, I get what he's saying as far as I noticed in these spaces, nothing personal, no shots fired. It's just an observation I'm speaking on. I do notice how there are a lot of folks out here in these spaces, like they, I guess, feel as if I have to be with like a network. Me, it ain't no toot my horn or nothing, toot. But any and everything that's going on, I'm over here grinding this solely on my own. Me, God, my blood, sweat, and tears, and my spirit. And all of that mixed together in the pot is what makes the gumbo I like to call my purpose that's driven. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 9:51 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. Let's keep going.
Went to go to be one of the most known faces on social media. Off of some shit we was doing in person though. Everybody like was more hip to the social media shit, but like I don't think they understand the capacity to which this thing was being done in person.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And I don't think they understand how the industry works. The people that they think are like on don't do 4,000. They do about 1,000, 500 to 1,000, and that's not no shot to anybody. That's just they don't understand that like classism and class follows through every industry. And I know I'm getting long-winded on this, but what I mean is that there's a huge gap between middle class and upper class, and that exists in the NBA. That everybody on the team doesn't get a $20 million contract.
I'm talking about talent tiers.
Not even talent, payment tiers.
Copy.
Numbers. What I mean is that like we doing 4,000. Most of your favorite artists, if they're not A-listers, if they're not the Beyoncés, if they're not the J. Coles, they not, and you not filling arenas, you doing 500.
The gap is that wide.
It's that fucking wide.
Yeah.
And we was climbing as indie. We didn't have no sponsors. It wasn't nobody putting up bread for that. Wasn't nobody stamp on that. Bro, we went on a historical fucking run. Again,
And that right there, those are the moments when you can go ahead and toot your horn. Those are the moments where you can go ahead and say, you know what, this is a flex moment. Why? Because of the work you put in. Because you envisioned something. Just like we were listening to earlier, you saw it before it actually formed. You know what that's like. That's why I love being an artist. Like when I stare at a blank canvas and then I get to sketching, and what was in my mind is now on that paper. I can't even begin to tell you the gratification that comes from that. When I hear a beat, an instrumental, and I got a feel for a song, I got a mold for a song, and by the time it's finished and it's all done, mixed and mastered, you wouldn't even begin to know the gratification that comes from that. Because it started with a thought, just a thought. And from that thought, an entire masterpiece was actually forged. You forged that from your brain into reality. That is the power that you hold. I digress. My mic is muted. Let's get back to it.
A long win is just to say that like nobody in this short span of time did what the fuck we did. Mm-hmm. And that's a credit to the motherfuckers that ran shit. That's a credit to us as the talent. That's a credit to Keita Rose. That's a credit to Randy Rosario, to Richie Fontaine, to Rico, to motherfucking Mr. Let Go, to goddamn it, SD, to Kitty, to Trill, bro. That's a credit to the people that made this thing what it was. Because
I don't know if he said it. If he did, I'll just say it again, but just in case. It's also a credit to everybody that showed up to the shows. That 40,000 came from the people who supported it. That's all I just wanted to throw in. So you as well, the viewer, the listener, you are just as important as the person who runs the show. Trust and believe. It works hand in hand. I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 9:55 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. Let's get back to it.
Because we did make it what it was. When we challenged each other, when we argued,
Right.
the real feuds we had that carried on in front of the curtain, they still made the thing what it was. Man, what we did was historical, bro. I'm not letting nobody take that away from me. So yeah, it was with heavy heart that I walked away from that. You know what I'm saying? These people validated me from my perspective and who I am as a person and what I believe, bro. That's some heavy shit to walk away from.
Yeah. I imagine that because, you know, it's like I was shocked, kind of not shocked. Cause we got to build kind of our rapport behind the scenes. And I'm like, okay, Tripp clearly is not just going to go with the traditional flow. He's thinking about other things. He's not just sitting back, letting things happen. He's also kind of thinking. And so when I seen it, I was more like, damn, okay, he did it, but I wasn't fully like, oh my God. Now, I'm sure some of your fans, though, from that platform were shocked.
Life comes.
What was the responses that you were seeing? Did anyone get really mad at you over that decision?
Nah. All right, no, on the humble.
I'm pretty sure more than anything, not about anger, but I'm pretty sure the people that really rock with him, because again, I'm not too familiar with the show, but anytime I saw clips, I always really enjoyed when he had his take. Him and Trill, again, shout out. I believe it's more so just like a disappointment, because me myself, I'm like, oh man, like shoot, he's a very vital addition, I would say, that's now a missing piece to that. But we all know how it is. The show, I'm pretty sure, will go on. I don't know who the other person is or if it's just what it is at this point right now. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in.
The majority response was on some, it's about time.
Copy.
Like it was about time. There had been a demand for me to step off on my own, or step off with Kitty, or step off with Keita, like, and do something like. And so a lot of people in the comments was on some like, oh man, that's crazy, like, but I wish you the best. But like the DMs was like, bro, it was about time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's on some. It became very clear the people on the stage that were carrying the show at any one given period. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, hey, dog, your back don't hurt. You've been carrying that motherfucker for a minute. Like, you ought to.
Yeah.
And these ain't even motherfuckers that's hating. These is like people really tapping in. Like, man, you know, you probably could. So that was the response I got as far as the support closer to me. It was about time.
I was going to ask you, you know, stepping away from any situation of value, because I think the podcast was definitely valuable. Clearly, it was a reason that we all got to know you. However, you felt in your spirit to exit. So I have to ask, like, when do you kind of know it's time to leave a situation? When did you know it was time to leave that?
I knew it was time to leave this. All right, so man, I know I'm about to deviate.
Go ahead.
My situation was not that deep, bro. That's what everybody had been looking for.
Right.
Is what was don't get me wrong, business got woozy with me.
Okay.
But I didn't have this like, oh my God, like, Lord, it was just like, all right, this shit's starting to go a little too far left with the business. Like I'm putting up 30 points a game, fam. I'm not asking for a limousine. I'm not asking for this. I know we a small market team, but nigga, if you need to go out and get some sponsors, you better go out and get some sponsors.
Understood.
I'm putting up 30 points a fucking game.
Right.
10 assists, 12 rebounds, 50 fucking percent from, you know what I'm saying, from the three. 54 from the, I'm efficient. I'm not a diva. I share the rock. And so when certain things started to go left or I started to get told no on certain things, I'm like, Okay, like I get it.
Yeah,
You not willing to budge. This how you run your situation.
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? I think my 30 points a game will be appreciated anywhere.
I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you very much. I see you. I see you. Shout out to Hustler. All right, hold on. Let's get past this commercial real quick. Again, this will be probably half of this, because I'm going to go ahead and get my evening going. But let's go ahead and keep on listening and see what we got. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Thank you all for tuning in.
I don't have to use drama. I don't gotta insult nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not, so I'm giving you these quality moments and all this. Bro, I literally, and it's just how I am. It's not that I was doing it for TC, but like, bro, if you would come to a show, any fan that's willing to wait in line for me, bro, at the end of the show, I make sure every single one of them get a picture unless the venue kick us out.
Copy.
Every single one of them, bro. If they want to meet me, the fans, when you post this shit, they can vouch for it. I promise you. Every single person that want to meet me, that wait in that line.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. If I got a headache or I'm exhausted afterwards, yeah, I might tell somebody like that. But like, I was on that tight time. Nigga, they remember that about your show.
And see, the reason why I really did like his dynamic to the show that he was on is because he was the one that I believe really brought that other side of it, that balance, you know. He's the one that allowed the show to not seem as if it was all the way one way. And that was what I really did respect about his position on the show. I just wanted to speak on that. With that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's go ahead and get back to it.
It's not just that they remember that about Tripp Fontaine. They remember tonight's conversation. I had such a great experience because. So it's like when I got to asking for certain shit that wasn't deeper, like it was just like, all right, bruh, again, I am I salty? Sure, but I'm not personally offended to the point where I have to have a revelation to know it's time to go.
That's right.
I see that there's a ceiling here. And that's when I knew. It ain't, and that's why I was saying, like when we just did the little clip, it ain't always that deep, bruh.
Absolute facts. And you know something else I didn't realize as to why I did actually I really did attract to his mode and his energy on that show. I didn't know that he was a poet as well. You know what I'm saying? Fellow writer. So I'm not shocked that I was drawn to how he articulates, because I could tell when he said that, I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Definitely pick that up. But let's keep going.
Mm-hmm.
The writing be on the wall way before things get messy.
That's right.
If the house has already began to burn, then the writing is probably no longer on the wall, is it? Mm-hmm. You feel me? So with me, it was just like, now that I see it's a ceiling here, now that I see that like we kind of got different ideas of my trajectory, it's time for me to go.
Yeah.
What I see myself doing in just the next few years, I don't know if I could accomplish it in this vehicle. And that's.
And see, things like that right there. And that's what I love. As he's speaking, whoever you may be watching or listening, whatever it is that's going on in your life, I'm talking about good, bad, regular, striving for, purpose-driven, whatever it may be, goal-oriented. Take a lot of these gems with you. He said, whatever that may be in store for me in the next few years, I don't know if I would be able to accomplish it in this vehicle. But that's it. Let it marinate. With that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. The time right now is 10:04 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. Let's get back to the show.
Sucks because this is great. It's consistent. But nah, I gotta gamble on myself, man.
Well, I think that's how things normally go when you think about stars and, you know, groups. And then there's like one or two people that kind of break out of that group to go off. It made me kind of think about, and I have to be able to address this because You know, people want to know. There was some drama that kind of like started spilling onto social media.
For sure.
Right after you exited or before, I don't know. It just felt like you exited and then we start hearing all this other stuff. Did that stuff that was brewing behind the scenes impact your decision as well?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I ain't gonna sit down here and cap.
Okay.
I love it. I love it. That's right. Talk that say it. It is what it is, and it's okay. We ain't got to be disrespectful about it, right? But it is what it is. Let's rock out.
Hell yeah.
Okay. You knew something was coming, was it?
I ain't know the depth of the bullshit. I'm not gonna claim like I did, bro, because some of the shit I would just hear as he say,
that's
she
right.
say,
People
and I
be
don't
talking.
get into that. You feel me? A lot of shit I wasn't in the room for. I just knew this person had their problems. This person had their problems. I had my problems, and niggas would trauma bond. You feel me? Niggas would click up, you know, based on who had problems with who. And a lot of that shit I just genuinely wasn't a part of. The only shit I was ever a part of is like, hey, if we band together to press, you know, the company, we could all get our money. And it didn't work. So the extra drama, yeah, I was like, oh. Yeah.
And you know something, I always wondered that too. What is it about, even when, because let's be for real, I would say no matter what the ideologies were on the platform in the show, those are some definitely great minds that got together, right, in their own rights. And what is it about it that when we try to click and come together on something that should be much more bigger and substantial, not all the time, but there are a lot of cases where it doesn't work? And, you know, I would say to myself, I do believe that these people, they planned this out, you know, they thought it through. I don't think they just said, hey, you want to go get some fold out metal chairs and go on the stage? No, I think they thought it through. So I wonder how that works. But let's keep going.
I can't do that.
You know what's so,
that's how y'all doing each other. I can't do that.
What's so because you said, you know, it was hard because you guys had a historical run. This is a Black production.
Yeah.
Already it's hard to come together and do some stuff. So I'm like, damn, that's just why I don't ever like just.
Bro, the only people white are the people like
filming?
Indigo Media. Indigo, the company filming.
Okay.
Are the only white people in the audio company. Are the only white people there. And I'm not saying that to single them out or anything, because they steal from our city, you feel me? So like ups to them. But like this was really some Black shit. Like this, and that's what this not to take up for anything anybody did. This ain't to make right on any bullshit that occurred behind the scenes, because I said on one of my lives, bro, the same way I ain't said nothing about what was going on with me. I'm not judging nobody for how they handle what was going on with them. I might.
Yeti, chin up, bro. You got gold in you, bro. Trust.
I'll go ahead and give my piece while he's speaking. My bad about that, y'all. I definitely do like exactly what he was speaking about on that. Because it is true. Like the whole, like when you hold your own, like, and regardless of whatever goes down, you know that you were a part of a team or what have you. At least I'm speaking on what I received from it, is that you still are accountable for your part on it. So I love the way that he's articulating what he's speaking right now. Let's keep going. I'm so sorry, y'all. Man, he been talking all that time. I'm so sorry, yo. I didn't know. Nobody said I'm sorry. I thought he was just shoot. Apologize. Forgive me.
Yeah, I can't do that.
You know what's so?
That's how y'all doing each other. I can't do that.
What's so? You said, it was hard because you guys did a historical run. This is a black production.
Yeah.
Already, it's hard to come together
Nigga.
and do some stuff. So I'm like, damn, that's just why I don't ever like just.
Bro, the only people white are the people like
Filming?
Indigo Media,
okay.
Indigo, the company filming.
Okay.
Are the only white people in the audio company. Are the only white people there, and I'm not saying that to single them out or anything, because they steal from our city. You feel me? So like, ups to them. But like, this was really some black shit. Like this, and that's what this not to take up for anything anybody did. Right. This ain't to make right on any bullshit that occurred behind the scenes. Because I said on one of my lives, bro, the same way I ain't said nothing about what was going on with me. I'm not judging nobody for how they handle what was going on with them. I might have my opinion behind the scenes or might agree with this or disagree with that, but that's for me and the people close to me to talk about. You.
All right, there we go. And that was the part that I wanted to get to on the end off part of it, because I want to make sure I want to split this in half. Plus, you know what I'm saying? I got to go ahead and get a few things going for the evening. But I wanted to like tap in on that because a lot of things he said was so profound. And even though he was just only talking about a show for the most part, there were so many other areas in my life in which it just so stuck out and it just made sense. It made sense. So with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's go ahead and end this off the right way. So let's go ahead and let's do this, right? Let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and float real quick, you know. I just feel like going ahead and floating real quick. And you all have a wonderful evening. We're going to tap back in on this, and I have more for you coming up next time on Smitty's Corner. Respect to you all.